Hello, and welcome. Welcome to yours and mine Cozy Corner. My name is Amanda, and on this channel, we talk about books, and more books. Guys, I cannot get my necklace straight. It doesn't matter what I do, I cannot get this to stay flat. Like, it's driving me crazy. But let's get to it. We have finally made it to part 19 of the 5 for 10 or less series. And this is a series where I introduce 5 books that cost no more than $10 from various Goodwill store. Now, as I told you guys in the previous videos, I have a ton of books that I have gotten from the Goodwill store because, hey, if you can get 5 books for $10, you can't beat that. So, anyway, let's get started. Now, the first book I have, and you guys know I'm looking at my notes. The first book I have is The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert. Now, this right here is a very interesting cover, to say the least. The book itself is in wonderful condition. And I'm not going to lie, I picked this up because I was like, what is going on with this cover here? Like, this book may probably have a little bit of spice in it. So when it comes to like romance novels or whatever, I don't like the book to be very spicy. I leave it to my imagination. And I think I ended up getting this because I'm like, that looks like a whole lizard or a demon or something like that with this woman. So I'm just like, I don't know if I should pick this book up, but anyway, I was in the mood, so I got it. So this is a paranormal fantasy romance novel. This is book number 1 in the Deal with a Demon series. It's 6 books total. So we have here Briar Rose might have a name out of a storybook, but she learned at a very young age that no prince was coming to save her. She'll have to save herself. Unfortunately, even that is an impossible task in her current situation, trapped in a terrifying marriage to a dangerous man. Desperate times call for desperate measures, which is how she finds herself making a deal with a demon. Freedom from her husband in return for 7 years of service. She expects the service to be backbreaking and harsh. She doesn't expect to be put on an auction block in a room full of literal monsters and sold to the highest bidder. So I don't know what to expect from this book. This is definitely quite different from what I'm used to reading, but I think it's going to be quite interesting. Now, the next book I have is The Wife Stalker by Liv Constantine. This book, it is a little, it's a little kind of funky at the top, a little bit there, but nothing major. A little bit back here. Again, you guys know I don't really care about any of that as long as there's nothing wrong with the text itself. So, this one is a psychological suspense thriller. So we have Piper Reynard sets down roots, opening a rehab and wellness space and joining a local yacht club. When she meets Leo Dracos, now I gotta stop for a second. Leo Dracos, what kind of name that sound like to y'all? Leave that in the comments. I'm just asking. It sounds like something to me. I wonder if it sounds like the same thing to you. I don't know. But anyway, he is a handsome, successful lawyer. The wedding ring on his finger is the only thing she doesn't like about him. Yet, as Piper well knows, no marriage is permanent. Well, my gosh, I hope that's not true. Meanwhile, Joanne has been waiting patiently for Leo to reemerge from the severe depression that has engulfed him. Though she's thankful when Leo returns to his charming, energetic self, Joanne is shocked to discover that it's not her loving support that sparked his renewed happiness. It's something else. Piper. Leo has fallen head over heels for the flaky new ager. He's more than willing to leave Joanne behind, along with everything they've built. Joanne is devastated and determined to find something, anything to use against this woman who has stolen her life and her true love. As she digs deeper into Piper's past, Joanne begins to unearth disturbing secrets. But when she confides to her therapist that she fears for the lives of her ex husband and children, her concerns are dismissed as paranoia. Can she find the proof she needs in time to save them? That sounds really good. Now, the next book I have, okay, let me say this before I tell you what the book is. I have seen this book in the Goodwill several times. I never picked it up because I actually saw the movie and I was thinking to myself, well, let me also back up and say this. Yes, I am one of those people who prefer to read the book. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Phew, bless me. Excuse me, guys. I am one of those people who will prefer to read the book before seeing the movie. However, I don't feel like if I saw the movie first, that the book is just going to be completely ruined. Because I know sometimes the two may not be alike or they may take on different storylines. And the fact that the book is always going to have just more detail. So I don't have an issue with that. It's just a preference. I prefer to read the book first, but it's not going to be ruined for me. Now, with that said, I've seen this book several times in different Goodwill stores. The only reason that I didn't pick it up before is because every book that I would see would look a little funky. And y'all know now I do love a good discount, but if something looked funky and nasty, I don't want anything to do with it. Do with that. But this book was in pretty good condition. So I said, you know what? Let me just grab it. And that book is The Help by Catherine Stockett. So you see here that it has a little bit of waviness. That's my fault. When I first started to get this book, books from the Goodwill, I was trying to clean them and still clean them, but I was wetting them up a little bit too much and I was messing up the pages. So I did that. But outside of that, the little sticker portion here, that's about as worse that, this book is going to get. The pages look absolutely great. Okay. So The Help. This is a historical fictional novel. We have three ordinary women who are about to take one extraordinary step, seemingly as different from one another as can be. These women will nonetheless come together for a project that will put them all at risk. And why? Because they are suffocating within the lines that define their town and their times. And sometimes lines are made to be crossed. In pitch perfect voices, Catherine Stockett creates three extraordinary women whose determination to start a movement of their own forever changes a town and the way women, mothers, daughters, caregivers, friends view one another. The Help is a timeless and universal story about the lines we abide by and the ones we don't. Now, like I said, I've seen the movie and I don't even have to say the scene that I will forever remember. I know that's probably going to stand out, when I read this book. And honestly, I've seen the movie, but I've never seen the movie in its entirety. For some reason, I never catch it at the beginning. So that part would actually be new to me in the beginning. I always catch it towards the middle part, in the end of the movie, but never the beginning. So that should be interesting. All right, the next book I have is Same Kind of Different as Me by Ron Hall, Denver Moore, and Lynn Vincent. All right. Again, wavy pages. That's because of me. The inside text looked great. The only thing that I do not like about the text here is that it is very, very small. So I will try and see if I can get this one on my Kobo, or if my library has like the large text, because that is very small. But this one here, it says, A dangerous homeless drifter who grew up picking cotton in virtual slavery, an upscale art dealer accustomed to the world of Armani and Chanel, a gusty woman with a stubborn dream, a story so incredible no novelist would dare dream it. So this is supposed to be a memoir, and I'm guessing that we have these three different point of views that we're going to get. It also says gritty with pain and betrayal and brutality. It also shines with an unexpected life changing love. The incredible retelling now includes an interview with the authors, um, and a reader's guide that is perfect for individual or group study. So I think this is just going to be an absolute good read. At least, I hope it is. Of course, I hope all of them are, but I just think this one is going to be incredibly good because I've never had a memoir where it's three different people, but for some reason they have to come together as one, because why would you have three different memoirs in one book unless they somehow connect together? So that's going to be interesting. And I don't know, for some reason I feel like that's going to be a tearjerker, or something that's going to emotionally just kind of get me going, which I am okay with. Now, the next one that I have is, okay, Clear by Karis Davis. This is a short little book here. All right. Pages look great. This is a historical fictional novella. And how many pages does this have? This has 196 pages. So, very quick read. So this is based in 1843. So on a remote Scottish island, Ever, the sole occupant, leads a life of quiet isolation until the days he finds a man unconscious on the beach below the cliffs. The newcomer is John Ferguson, an impoverished church minister sent to evict Ever and turn the island into grazing land for sheep. Unaware of the stranger's intentions, Ever takes him into his home, and in spite of the two men having no common language, a fragile bond begins to form between them. Meanwhile, on the mainland, John's wife Mary anxiously awaits news of his mission. So that sounds like that's probably going to be a pretty good read, and it's a very short read as well. All right, guys, so that is it. These are the 5 books. All right, this is the 5 books that I have for you guys for part 19. These are also different. I think that I probably would keep these together and read this. Like, I don't know what month I'm planning to read it, but I think I'll probably keep this group together and just read all of these, because I don't know, they seem so different that I think that's probably a good idea. But anyway, guys, hopefully you have stuck around to the end of the video. If you have, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I thank you guys so much for being here with me, and I will talk with you later. Bye.